guys! So today I want to talk to you about the multiple uses for clear nail polish. And this super spiffy guy is like a mini size top coat. Like you can get this just about anywhere. It comes in those little sets. And this has come in handy so many times for me. And there was a girl here on YouTube who said she fixed her trumpet, like a screw came out or it broke or something. She used this to fix her trumpet. I was like, wow. And I've used clear nail polish so many times to fix little problems and things that happen around the house and beauty kind of stuff. So I wanted to tell you exactly my uses for clear nail polish, and of course, hear any ideas, tips, or tricks that you guys want to share as well. The first thing that I love is that this can help you prevent rings from changing colors. I don't know about you guys, but I have these rings. I'll show you one here. Whoops. Do you see like how the inside, the color like comes off? Like it goes from being silver to being like kind of like a rusty coppery color. Like it's really gross. Or sometimes your finger will turn green. Sometimes it happens with necklaces or bracelets as well. This is a fake wedding ring that I use to keep people, you know, if you're out and about and you need to have an excuse, this is a great excuse. Problem is, I started running into the problem where people could tell that it was fake because it was like all green on the sides. Using clear nail polish will protect this from, like, it'll be like a second barrier and it'll protect this from turning green on your finger. So the second you get something like this that is really cheap, or the second you see that it's starting to kind of change colors, you just dip it into the nail polish or just paint the nail polish on, and all of a sudden it'll stay the same color, so people will really think you're married and won't want to hit on you anymore. It's smart stuff. Here's an example of one of the rings that just completely came off. You see how it used to be silver, now it's like a muddy brown? Really cheap stuff, but hey, this helps it make it last longer. Another thing that I love this for is preventing belt buckles from getting icky. And that probably sounds really weird. Sometimes if you have a belt buckle that's like cheap, or like a belt that comes with a buckle, it'll start getting like scratched, or it'll start getting like changing colors. Not exactly like the rings, but you'll notice it'll change colors or even like almost like rust. If you have a belt buckle that you just bought and you know that it might do that eventually, and you want to preserve its like shininess, you can cover it in clear nail polish and prevent it from getting all icky. So that way it stays shiny and it stays looking good and it doesn't get those scratches or nicks in it. Another big tip is for shoes, especially leather shoes. I haven't tried this on other shoes, I would say only shiny leather, but I've noticed that around the toes and around the heels, if you've worn your shoes for ages, they get really, really scuffed up. What you can do is take this and paint it onto those scuffs, and then you want to paint it on so that it fills that scuff mark, like the big indent, and then with your finger just go around that so that it kind of merges in with the rest of the shininess. Let it dry and it'll actually help to, like, it won't get rid of them completely, but a lot of times it'll really help to like get that scuffy stuff out. So all of a sudden, if you just bought a really expensive pair of like designer heels that are leather and you wore them around all the time, you don't want them to look like they're 10 years old, you just use this stuff. It's really good. Another thing is that I wear pantyhose sometimes. I'm naturally a cold-blooded person, and sometimes having pantyhose or nylons will help me stay warmer because it's like an extra layer on me. And especially under skirts or something, if I'm not going to a modeling gig, I generally don't wax because I wax, I don't shave. And sometimes I don't want my hairs to be shown in a skirt, so sometimes I'll wear those pantyhose. Now, people who wear pantyhose know that, like that, they will run and they will get destroyed, which means basically the little thread will come out at the bottom or something and it'll just like unravel on your leg. Well, if you see that start happening, run into your purse and grab this stuff. It usually happens around my heel area. I like to just dab this on and like dab it onto that area, and it'll stop it from spreading further. So you'll probably have to throw them out once you take them off. But this was always a lifesaver for me whenever that happened, if I was like wearing a skirt or shorts or something like that. The other thing is that I have been told, I have actually not done this personally, but I have been told that it'll stop glass from breaking. For instance, if you have like a windshield on your car and, you know, rocks come up on the freeway and cause like a little dent, usually those dents end up being cracks that go across your entire windshield. If you have a car, or if your parents have a car, you can use clear nail polish on those little tiny cracks so that it doesn't continue to split. And I've never done that, so I can't attest to it, but that's what I was told, and I've heard it works for other people, so if you have a cracked windshield, you might want to try that out. The other thing is makeup brushes. A lot of times makeup brushes like this, you see how they have like the brand or the number that's painted on the side? What happens is that when you've had these for a year or two, those end up getting scratched off, so you don't know what number it is. And that's why when I do tutorials, I hardly ever know what number the brush is because they've all been accidentally scratched off over the years. What you can do is when you first get your brushes, you can paint clear nail polish over them, kind of like this one. I could just paint it over, and that would stop this from rubbing off in the future. And it kind of acts like, I don't know, it kind of acts like extra protection. I'll show you what I mean. Just kind of paint that on there. And I mean, obviously I have to let it dry, but because it has that on there now, it's kind of like an extra protection. So if something wants to scratch at this, it's just going to remove the nail polish a little bit instead of actually removing the name of the brush, so that way you know what you're using. Every now and again, when you have a hanger like this, it's like it's wood, it's not one of the plastic ones, what happens is that sometimes the wood will like chip. And what I've noticed is that when the wood kind of sticks up like that, you try to hang up a pair of clothing or something, and it gets a rip in the shoulder where it sits here on like the side of it, and all of a sudden you've ruined your clothing. But a great way to deal with that is that when you see the hanger have like a chip on the side of where the hanger is supposed to hang stuff, you can take clear nail polish and put that on the little side so that way the little chip doesn't stick up anymore, so that way it won't snag clothes as much. I've also been told this works for glass, like if you have a drinking cup that got broken or something a little bit, or it's chipped on the side, you can put this over so next time you drink it doesn't cut you because it kind of smooths it out. Personally, if I have a chipped drinking glass, I throw it away just because, but maybe this is an option if it's like a really special drinking glass or something. Maybe it's got Snoopy on it. And the very last thing is your buttons. I don't know about you, but all the buttons on my shirts, if I've worn the shirt more than like 50 times, those buttons will come off. And the reason why is because, you know, you keep on using the buttons, buttoning, unbuttoning, it gets a little bit thin. What I've noticed is that if you use this and put it on the buttons, like the strings, it almost like, I don't know, it dries on the strings and makes them a lot thicker and tougher. So it's like making string into super string, you know? And I've noticed my buttons stay on a lot better when I put nail polish on them, and clear nail polish. I don't think you would want to put pink on your buttons. But those are just my tips and tricks and how I've used or how I have heard you can use clear nail polish. So be sure to leave a comment in the below So be sure to leave a comment below, or post your video response and tell me how you use clear nail polish, how it helped you in a situation, or what other tips and tricks you have. So I love you guys. I hope this will help you. I hope that you can now fix cracks on your windshield and scuffs on your shoes and marks on your belt and your buttons, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.